Hi, butterflies. Now here we are again on reading the Path of Life journal book. And these are the S words. How to deal with someone who may feel suicidal. Just as CPR has been promoted to save lives, it is vital that the general public knows how to assess and prevent suicide. And isn't that true? Did you ever wonder how to? Just as CPR does. We all need to know. So, number one, notice if a person appears disheveled or the gaze is downward or the voice tone is flat or says things like, life's not worth living or I hate my life, etc. Number two, ask how would you rate your mood right now? Ask them on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 meaning life's not worth living and 10 meaning life is great. Number three, if the person rates the mood as 5 or under, ask, have you had any thoughts of suicide or of harming yourself? It's okay to ask. They might appreciate it and then not feel so alone. And if the person indicates yes, go to the next step. If the person says, I don't know, hear this as a yes to the question. And number three, if someone says, no, I don't feel suicidal, then you don't need to do the rest of these steps. Have you thought about how you might end your life if the person says yes, the risk is increased? And ask, what have you thought about as you might do it? If the means is ineffective or non-lethal, such as cutting wrists, and the risk is lower, but if the means is lethal, such as using a gun or jumping from a bridge, etc., the risk is higher. Number 7. Regardless of the means, ask, can we agree together that if you have thoughts of killing yourself, you will speak to me personally and not my voicemail, and before carrying out the plan to harm yourself? If the person says no or I don't know to the question in number 7, say, what I'm hearing is that you are in a lot of pain right now and thinking of ending your life, so I am wanting you to go to the emergency room right now and get some help to feel better right away. Will you go? I will make sure you get there safely. Is there a family member or someone I can call to go with you? Or tell the person you'll go with them yourself. Number 9, arrange for the person to be accompanied to the emergency room and call ahead to tell the emergency that you are coming. If the person refuses, then ask the person to wait there with someone while you call the police. Wait where they are and you'll call the police in another room to report that the person has threatened suicide with lethal means and ask the police to come and accompany the person to emergency room. So, did you notice if the person refuses, then ask them to wait there while you get help to come. So, note, if the person rates the mood as high over 6 after feeling constantly depressed and he now reports life is great and she's smiling, the risk may be increased because she has decided to end their life and have made all the arrangements, and now everything is calm and she feels great because she has a plan to kill herself. This is by Daniel Curran, MSW, Masters in Social Work. Loved one suicide can trigger intense emotions. For example, shock. So this is for people who had someone they love or close to them do it. Disbelief, emotional numbness may set in. You may think that your loved one's suicide couldn't possibly be real. Anger, you may be angry that your loved one for abandoning you and leaving you with a legacy of grief, or angry with yourself or others for missing the clues about the suicidal intentions. Guilt, you may replay what if and if only scenarios in your mind, blaming yourself for your loved one's death. despair. You may be gripped by sadness, depression, and a sense of defeat or hopelessness. You may have a physical collapse or even consider suicide yourself. You may continue to experience intense reactions during the weeks and months after your loved one's suicide, including nightmares, flashbacks, difficulty concentrating, social withdrawal, and loss of interest in unusual activities, especially if you witnessed or discovered the suicide. Oh, that's the worst part that lasts the longest. Adopt healthy coping strategies. The aftermath of a loved one's suicide can be physically and emotionally exhausting, and as you work through your grief, be careful to protect your own well-being. Keep in touch. Make yourself reach out to family and friends and spiritual leaders for comfort, understanding, and healing. Surround yourself with people who are willing to listen when you need to talk, as well as those who will simply offer a shoulder to lean on when you'd rather be silent. Grieve in your own way. Do what's right for you, not necessarily someone else. And if you find it too painful to visit your loved one's gravesite or share the details of your loved one's death, wait until you're ready. Be prepared for painful reminders. Anniversaries, holidays, and other special occasions can be especially reminders of your loved one's suicide. Don't chide yourself for being sad or mournful. Instead, consider suspending family traditions that are too painful for comfort. Don't rush yourself. Losing someone to suicide is a tremendous blow, and healing must occur at its own pace. Don't be hurried by anyone else's expectation that it's been long enough. Expect setbacks. Some days will be better than others, even years after the suicide, and that's okay. Healing doesn't often happen in a straight line. Consider a support group for families affected by suicide. Sharing your story with others are experiencing the same type of grief may help you find sense of purpose and strength. Actively grieve and mourn. Grief is an inner sense of loss, sadness, and emptiness. Mourning is how you express those feelings, and you might plan a funeral or memorial service, wear black, and carry a somber demeanor, but both grief and mourning are natural and necessary parts of the healing process after a loss. Acknowledge your pain. If you don't face your grief, your wounds might never quite go away. Accept that the pain you're feeling is part of dealing with grief and moving toward a state of healing and acceptance. Look to loved ones and others for support. Spending some time alone is fine, but isolation isn't a healthy way to deal with grief, and that's what we all are tempted to do. A friend, a confidant, a spiritual leader, all can help you along the journey of healing. Allow loved ones and others, close contacts, to share in your sorrow or simply be there when you cry. And listening to your story is important. Don't make major decisions while grieving. Grief clouds the ability to make sound decisions. If possible, postpone big decisions, such as moving, taking a new job, or major financial changes. If you must make decisions right away, seek the input or guidance of trusted ones or others, close contacts. And take care of yourself. Grief consumes a significant amount of energy. Your will to live and ability to follow normal routines might quickly erode. In the combat scene problems, try to get adequate sleep to combat those. Eat healthy and include physical activity in your daily routine. Consider a medical checkup to make sure your grief hasn't adversely affected your health, especially if you have any existing health conditions. Remember that time helps, but it might not cure it. But time has the ability to make that acute, searing pain of loss less intense and to make your red hot emotions less painful, but your feelings of loss and emptiness might take time and understanding with someone else who is hurting so you can provide friendship and support. Get involved with others. Actively support suicide prevention services in your area. Help others for a world worthwhile cause or issues that mean something to you. So did we miss a page? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, here it is. Accepting and embracing your new normal might help you reconcile your losses. Losing a loved one is devastating. So someday, however, the sun will shine again and the day will seem brighter and your life will go on, even if it'll never be quite the same. Yeah, everything's going to be different and you have to accept it. Guilt. If only I did something more. Perhaps the most intense anger you experience will be the way you feel about yourself. The anger is closely linked with feelings of guilt. And that just comes naturally when we lose someone, it seems. But I just talked with him. Why didn't I listen? Or why didn't I say I loved you? If only I should have, etc. You'll think about that. A lot of other ones too. So if the deceased was someone with whom you had close contact, your guilt possibly will be intense. And if the death came as a complete surprise, you will be desperately searching for reasons. And a person who completes suicide usually is given out some clues beforehand, and as you look back on the years and months and years, maybe you can now see some hints that you missed earlier. You wish you'd recognized, and the problem earlier enough to do something about it. But perhaps you were aware of the deceased's suicidal feelings and you did try to help. You may have thought you had because in the time preceding the death, you noticed he or she seemed to be feeling a lot better and you relaxed your concerns. So you need to know it's not uncommon for a suicidal person to feel better once the decision to die had been made. So the problem has not been resolved, but the victim has found an answer: suicide. And as you're trying to cope with your guilt feelings, try not to criticize yourself too harshly for your behavior toward the victim while he was alive. Are you now wishing you could have found the right solutions or offered more support? Thoughts like, I shouldn't have gone to the movies, or I should have been there, may constantly be running through your head. Even if you had stayed home or even if you had been with him, the suicide could and possibly would have happened at another time. And if you feel your presence at a particular time could have prevented the suicide, you are assuming way too much. Of course, we all like to think we can help our troubled friends and families, and we do try, but the person that is determined to complete the suicide is likely to accomplish it. If you realistically feel there was something you could have done, face it, think about it, and accept it. Your loved one can't be helped anymore, and you need to go on with your life. And you can learn from and grow from your experience. Some people believe an individual has a right to end his life. The term rational suicide is used to describe a suicide that has been thought about and planned, perhaps as a way of dealing with painful terminal illness. This is an area of controversy, and whether you accept it or not, you What you do need to think about is that the suicide was an individual decision, rational or not, and it was his not choice, not yours. You may accept this intellectually long before your emotions will accept it. So, what value does your anger or guilt have in the healing process and beyond? Rather than letting the hurt isolate you, share time and understanding with someone else who's hurting. So you can provide friendship and support, get involved with others, actively support suicide prevention services in your area, or any worthwhile cause or issue that means something to you. And our next S word is sad. All of the S words are a result of some kind of loss along the path of life. Sadness is the result of loss. Being able to share your story is such a support in these times. Tears are healing. Do not be too quick to stop the emotions. Just one person that you can talk to and feel listened to with confidential, unconditional regard towards you is so valuable. Sometimes we all feel like this turtle. Life is going slow and nowhere, and we feel like everyone is watching and quacking at us. Unconditional positive regard, a term popularly believed to have been coined by the humanist Carl Rogers, is basic acceptance and support of a person regardless of what the person says or does. Rogers believes that unconditional positive regard is essential to healthy development. People who have not experienced it may come to see themselves in the negative ways that others have made them feel. So, by providing unconditional positive regard, humanist therapists seek to help their clients accept and take responsibility for themselves. Humanist psychologists believe that by showing the client unconditional positive regard and acceptance, the therapist is providing the best possible conditions for personal growth to the client. I believe in the innate wisdom of every individual, and as a counselor, I strive to create a safe environment to explore life issues while maintaining the belief that each and every person is inherently the expert of their own life. Number 10, scared. This is an S word. My comments. Being scared at the appropriate time is when we are in danger. And if the feelings linger and reoccurs without cause, we will need to overcome this strong alarm system in our brain. I learned a simple trick to use in times of panic. Now, you have to understand that our internal alarm system is wired such that it can only respond to the words it hears as think or say. So we ourselves, no matter what we do, cannot turn off our panic attacks. The alarm system in our brain alone can turn the off button, according to what the words it hears in our mind. So, in this case, when we are starting a panic attack, being scared for a real reason or not, we must consider what we say and think. Since the alarm system has turned itself on, we would like it off before it escalates. So when we think words such that beg it to get worse, the alarm system is thinking, oh, there must be no cause for alarm. So after hearing that repeatedly, those words repeatedly, the alarm system turns itself off. I have practiced this in my life consistently, and it will work. So there's one thing to do when you're scared. That's very vital information right there. Simple, but yet so helpful. Like, it really helps panic attacks. That's how you do it. I wrote this song in 2008. Peace be still. Are you lonely? Did it go bad? Is there nowhere to turn? Just let your heart hear the voice within. Know that you are never alone and listen to the still small voice within you, and you'll know what I mean. Peace be still. He is near you. He who calls one and all to his kingdom with love. Let your broken heart bring forth faith, so you'll follow the Lord. Remember, God's word is the only thing that can chase away our doubts and fear. This is a powerful statement. It is something that literally works not only in doctrine, but as we actively use it in our thoughts. So just like we just talked about, the words, imagine God's word going into our mind, what that would actually literally do to our system. And our Isaiah 26:3, to ward off fear from worldly disharmony or discord, vocally call upon God's words when times are darkest. So that kind of makes sense. The Lord has said to us, therefore fear not, little flock, do good, let earth and hell combine against you, for if you are built upon my rock, they cannot prevail. Doctrine and Covenants 6:34 and 36. So we must fortify ourselves with words, and that sure God's words, especially that sure spiritual fortification, is found in two words: Jesus Christ. Words. So how powerful are words to our mind, and how our brains are made. Our brains are made to function according to the words. To the word. That's cool. King James Version, Psalms 133. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and it shall be quiet from fear of evil. And when through fiery trials thy pathway shall lie, my grace all sufficient shall be thy supply. The flame shall not hurt thee. I only design thy dross to consume and thy gold to refine. Stressed. Another S word, managing stress steps. Here they are. Mind your words. Keep smiling. Recognize your victories. Just eat the right foods and move. Get moving. The best effect of the 5 simple steps managing stress strategy is that it dramatically increases your chances to easily get into a state of coherence. Everything working together. Mind, body, and spirit. And to be in the state of coherence means being able to find the perfect balance where the resistance of your body to any external or internal force is minimal. This immediately brings you to the conclusion that the state of coherence is the best power-saving mode, the mode which helps you relax and restore in the most efficient way. And remember, you have to let that happen in yourself too. Not only thinking and doing it, but let it. So give it to God, let it go. And this is a key step in order to overcome stress. Because to fight it, we need to be strong. And it is as simple as this. We need power. So you just need enough personal strength to communicate effectively, to add value in what you do, to identify your enemies, to foresee their actions, to be at the right place at the right moment. Now, so the 5 simple steps managing stress strategy gives you the steps which, if followed, will make you stronger and stronger and eventually will let you overcome stress. The first step towards change is to become more aware of the problem. So this is where we will leave off and start the next video, and still in stress here, and we will go and explain the 5 simple steps of managing stress strategy.